yesterday? Which are the important points which we covered here? Can you attempt? Let it be wrong, no problem. Attempt. Important points.
Russia and
Inertia. Okay, good. And in a latest hour, she came and gave the answer. So they came. Any other points? Anyone remembers? Galileo's experiment. That's very good. Galileo's experiment of see, instead of dropping balls, you think about his brilliance. So dropping ball business is very tough, right? Then you have to keep, like, how do you know how exactly at same time you are dropping it? You need that kind of pneumatic hydraulic system. It's not possible. So it was difficult that time. You don't have multi-story, that kind of huge listing buildings. So he put the balls one by one from here. It's easy to conduct also from this slope. So same gravity will apply one by one. Then he kept a water ball down and saw how much water is spilling. That was his measure of the speed. Right? If the speed is more water will get spilled. So like that, he measured painstakingly the time taken for different mass balls, different shape balls. Okay, so many things. Okay, right. So then that is from where he came up with this concept. He understood that the distance traveled, which is the length of this whatever experimental setup, is directly proportional to square of the time square. Right? So from there he derived by telling that means time is proportional to distance by time or speed, which means when time increases, speed is increasing. So because of the gravitational force, now what is happening is, it is not attaining speed, it is increasing the speed because gravitational force is pulling it. For example, if you are working a force opposite it, then the speed will reduce. So that is the big moment. That what is happening, of course gravity is there, proportional time speed, yes, but what is happening is the effect of force is change in speed. Understand? So that is a big moment. So what we call as the first law, what it says, if something is going in some speed, it will continue to go in that speed unless you apply a force. If you apply a force, what will happen? If something is going in some speed, if you apply force, what will happen?
The speed will change.
Speed will change depending on which direction you are applying force. If you are applying in the same direction, speed will increase. If you are applying in opposite direction, speed will decrease. You understand? So that is from where they came up with the structure of solar system. They're telling that means the Earth is rotating. You don't need any force for Earth to rotate. Earth is rotating. And you need some force to change the speed of the Earth or any other planet. You understand? So that is the big moment. Now that is from where the concept of inertia also comes. And what?
So I had.
Yeah.
Why is the Earth rotating? I had. Why rotating its axis?
Rotating in its own axis?
Yes, sir.
Or revolving?
Rotating in its own axis.
Yeah. So that is a good question. So that actually what happens is that points to how Earth and galaxies and solar systems were formed. Okay, we will come to that. That points to how it was formed in the first place. So that motion is inherited from the formation time. So we'll come to that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So now, from here, then he realized that you put ball of 1 kg, 2 kg, 5 kg, all are coming at the same time. All are taking same time. So that is from where this concept of different mass balls, when you drop, they will come at same time. It it is getting arrived. Now, why is it so? We will come to that. Why 1 kg ball and 2 kg ball are taking same time? We will come to that. Now then, he didn't stop there. See, he didn't stop there. It is Galileo, during his time of house arrest, he wrote this book called Two New Sciences, which is the foundation of today's physics, today's science. Two New Sciences. This is apart from his achievements of observing the world through telescope. So these two new sciences. Do you know which are those two sciences which he has written the book about? Which are these the two sciences he is talking about? Do you? One is obviously motion, that is the force, inertia, everything regard to motion. Second is strength of materials. Strength of material is very much related to force. A material can withhold how much force. Actually, we are able to make buildings based on that. When you make a building, Elisa, being an architect's daughter, you tell me what is the step which they do while making buildings?
Plan, drawing a plan.
Yeah. What else?
And uh,
Base.
looking at the materials.
Okay, then go to Sanjeev and then update tomorrow, next class. What are the other activities which they do while making a building? Ben was telling something. What is that, Ben?
Base or base.
Yeah, base. Yes. Okay. All are right. There are certain more things which they do. Okay. So Elisa's father is a very renowned sustainable architect. So she will come back tomorrow with some thoughts. Okay. They create a thread and update it there. These are the steps they follow while making buildings. So now that is like you see, when you make a building, let us assume you are making an auditorium. What are the questions you will ask? Well, of course, how does it look? How should it look? And all those. What are other questions you will ask?
How big or how much space it consumes?
How much
like
space?
the area.
Then what else? What else? Area, yes, okay. What else? Anything else you will ask? Anything else you will ask?
The geographical area.
Capacity of the auditorium.
1 second. Ananya, what is it? Geographical?
The geographical features of the place where it is being.
Yeah. The soil, terrain, and all those things. So, what you will do based on that? Let us assume you get a soil strength. What you do based on that?
It's like if we can build over there or not. Because if the soil or the land is loose, then we can't build the.
Yeah. If the soil is loose, what they will do? Brilliant point. If the soil is loose, what they will do?
Stilt house.
Huh?
So we can build a stilt house.
Yeah. So what will happen? What she told is a brilliant point. She will see, what are you telling? You are telling, in other words, you are looking at the strength of the soil to hold the building. Right? If it is loose, that means you do piling till more further down. So how do you know how many piles you require, how many pillars you require? So the obvious question you will ask, Ben, you are telling some other point.
Base.
Yeah, base is right.
Should,
So
strong base according
strong
to the
base.
text of
Strong base. So
quality,
how do you?
strong base.
So how do you know how much strength your base require? You haven't asked any questions for that. One thing Ananya told about soil. Is there any other factor?
Soil use.
Any other factor?
So according to the soils properties, we should have to dig more.
Okay. Will you make the same base? Will you make the same base for an auditorium which can accommodate 1,000 people and an auditorium which can accommodate 10,000 people? Will you make the same base?
No.
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 That's the question you will ask. How many people are supposed to come here? How much material are you going to hold here? Right? When you make a house where 5 people are staying, when you make a house which is the top is an auditorium where 100 people will come and assemble, or 500 people will come and assemble, or 10,000 people will come and assemble, strengths are different. Have you heard some building collapsing because there are more people climbing or more load coming on the top? That is because of the strength of the material. So that comes basically from the force. So if you have 1,000 people, let us assume if there are 1,000 people, how much force the floor has to carry? How do you calculate?
Approximate weight.
Weight. How do you calculate the weight then?
The approximate of a person into 1,000.
Yeah, what is the weight of a person? Approximate means what is the weight of a person? One person, approximate.
Google it.
You tell
60.
something. 60. That is where you are getting it wrong.
60.
60 is not the weight. 60 is the mass.
Kg.
60 is the mass. It is not the weight. Which is what we were discussing in last class.
Newton.
What is the weight of a person? What will be the force exerted by a person standing on a building? On that building, is it 60 kg?
It is
Not
the
kg,
Earth's
Newton.
gravity.
Yeah, that is Earth's gravitational force. Is it 60 kg?
No.
No, might
Then
be 60
what is it?
Newton.
The person's mass into the gravitational force in that case.
What is that?
60 Newton. Newton.
9.8
9.8.
60 into 9.8.
into 9.8.
That is the whole stuff which I was trying to impress you upon last day. The force with which Earth attracts a person is mass of that object into 9.8. So if your person's mass is 60 kg, that person is exerting a weight or a force of 60 into 9.8. So if there are 1,000 people are supposed to come, like you can, like Rudhish told, you can take an average mass of 60 or 70 kg and multiply, sum it and multiply with 9.8. You get that Navneet comes. Okay. Do you get that? Do you understand that?
So, but why the gravitational force instead of the number of people who are going to be?
Ritesh, I have spent so much time in the last class explaining this point. Either you guys have not understood or you have not done your homework. I have spent so much of time. Why that is gravitational thing? Why it is G? Why it is that? Right?
So now I remember that weighing machine example also.
Yeah, you have to go and look at the videos. That's what I'm telling. It will look good to hear, but you will forget. Okay, go and spend some time further, then you understand, right? So that is very much related to the force. Okay. So now I see some new people joining. Let me ask who are these friends. First of all, can I request all of you to join on time here? Can you join 5 minutes before 6:30? Except Navneet. Navneet is given exception. Ashik, are you new? Ashik,
Nope, sir.
you come before?
Yes.
Okay, try to join before time. And okay, see some more. Paul joined just now. Where is he? Paul Abraham. Paul, you came just now? I think audio is not on. Anyway, so all try to join on time. Okay, so now this guy didn't stop there. This guy, Galileo, didn't stop there. He came up with another concept. which we will learn with this problem. Read everyone. Read it and answer.
The 50 kilometer per hour.
All of you can answer. I think a message in the chat. All of you. You understood the problem, right? Is there anyone who doesn't understand the problem? A person is standing in the train. A train is going at 50 km per hour, and that person inside the train is walking inside the train towards the engine at 5 km per hour. Now you are standing outside and see train is going. What will be the speed of that person for you when you are standing outside? Assume that Avinash is standing outside. Okay? Assume that Elisa is going in the train. So Elisa is walking inside the train at 5 km. So I got few answers, some 50, some 55. So the 50 club, can you explain? One from the 50 club. Please explain. Anyone? Sriyesh, can you explain why it is 50? Sriyesh. Where is Sriyesh?
Sir?
Yeah. Can you explain why it is 50 for you?
Sir, if you're standing in a field, then the person who's like watching will be noticing the speed of the train, not speed of you.
Okay, fine. For the 55 club, Rohan Ajit, can you explain why it is 55, Rohan?
The speed at which the person is walking is 5 km per hour. So the person outside will be imagining that it will be 55 km per hour.
Okay, all right. Okay. So now let me ask all of you another question. Let us assume a person is sitting inside the train. What would be the speed of Elisa? Elisa is walking. Okay. Rohan is sitting inside the train. Avinash is standing outside the train. So for Rohan, what is the speed of Elisa? Both are inside in the train.
5 kilometers.
That all of you agree? All of you agree? Fine. Okay. Now come for Avinash, what is the speed of Rohan? Rohan is sitting inside the train. Now, how it is 2.5 Shreyas? See, inside.
Or it is the second question's answer, right? Or 5 km per hour.
Second question. Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it's 2.5. Okay, sorry. Okay. Now, Rohan is sitting inside the train. Avinash is standing. What is the speed of Rohan for Avinash? When Avinash looks, train is going at 50 km per hour. Rohan is sitting in the window and is watching the beauty of the nature.
50 kilometers per hour.
It is 50. So no doubt there. Okay. So now you look at it. Avinash is standing outside. He feels Rohan is traveling at 50 km per hour. But then compared to Rohan, Elisa is going at 5 km per hour in the same direction, right? So when you stand outside and see, you will see Elisa is walking at 55 km per hour, 50 km of the train, and inside the train, she is walking at 5 km. Just think about this. You are in a mall, you are in an escalator. Okay? Let us assume escalator is going at 10 km per hour. So all of you are standing and going. One person is running in the escalator towards the direction of escalator. One person is running. won't you feel that person is going faster? Is it not? You'll feel that person is walking. It is not perspective, it is the fact. This is not perspective, this is the fact. Okay? So when you look from outside, the speed of that person will be the escalator speed plus his speed. Right? Yeah. Okay. Now answer this. Now we are bringing another train, the parallel track, which is also going in the same direction, at the same speed. Okay? A person sitting in a train running in a parallel track in the same direction. So a person is sitting in that train. Let us assume now we change the direction of Avinash. Avinash was till now standing outside. Now he is sitting on another train. From that train, when he looks at Elisa, both trains are going at same speed. Avinash is sitting on one train, but in the other train, Elisa feels she can reach home faster by walking inside the train. So she is walking inside the train at 5 km/h. What is her speed for Avinash? I see three answers. Anyone else has a different answer? Or have all of you understood it? What is the speed of Rohan, who is sitting in the first train? Rohan is sitting in the first train. Avinash is also sitting in this next train. Both are going at same speed. What is the speed of Rohan for Avinash?
Sir, can you repeat once more?
Now Rohan is sitting in the train, first train. Avinash is sitting in the second train. Both are going at 50 km/h. What is the speed of Rohan for Avinash? Can they play balls? Avinash throwing balls to Rohan. Rohan plays those. Can they play?
Sir, if the speed is constant.
Yes, the speed is constant. The speed is constant. Like that Mission Impossible. Food trucks. Can they play?
So they can
No,
play.
sir. When?
No, sir.
It's a fact.
Sir, they
So
can't
when did
play because when they throw the ball outside, the ball is not moving with the train.
ball is at rest, sir?
So if both of them are sitting in the same train, can they play?
Yes, sir, they can.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That time ball is not at rest.
Both is traveling with the same speed, 50 kilometer per hour.
Can they play or not?
Yes.
So they can play. That is why flight travel is possible. If you throw a ball from a train which is traveling at 50 km/h, that ball is also going at the same speed of the train. That is the fundamental of motion, which is what this guy found it out at this time. He asked this question: a boat is moving. A person is putting a coin from the top of the boat. Coin, it drops. By the time the coin falls, the boat has moved. By the time the coin reaches down, the boat has moved. This is its current position. Will the coin fall on the boat or on the water here?
Can you repeat your voice for breaking?
A boat is moving. Listen carefully, okay? A boat is moving. A person is standing here on this anchor and dropping a coin. Now, by the time the coin reaches here, the boat has moved. Boat's position is here. Will the coin fall on the boat or on the water here? Because the boat has moved. Coin will fall on this boat or on the water.
It will fall on the boat.
On the boat.
3 people are for the boat. Anyone has a different answer?
Sir, what is he doing?
He's just dropping a coin.
He's throwing that coin.
Just dropping the coin. Right. This was a thought experiment which Galileo gave. Why it will fall on the boat? Because the coin is not moving, right? By the time coin falls, the boat is moved, right? Why it is falling on the boat?
Because the
The
person
boat was on
is traveling, the person who's throwing the coin is traveling with the boat.
Yeah, but the coin is not traveling, right? Coin has dropped, right?
Now, in the worst case, you told the boat was traveling. Now the coin will also travel.
Ah, yeah, that's what I'm telling. Okay, so Shreyas and others, you have to understand the coin, the person, the chimney, the rat and cat in the boat, everything in the boat are traveling the same speed of the boat. And when it comes to the train, the chapati inside the train, the chai ka coffee mug, you who is sitting, everyone is traveling at the same speed. Otherwise, if you sit inside a train, when you put a ball, the ball will fall on the backside compartment, right? Not in your hand. Sit. You put a ball like this, the train. Ball is coming to your hand, right? Ball doesn't go to the backside. Sit. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right? So that.
Sir, but why does that happen?
That's what we are telling. When all the materials in that frame travels at the same speed. That is why flight travel is possible. Think about it. A flight is taking off from Mumbai to Singapore. Earth is rotating. Earth is rotating at a very fast speed, 1,600 km per hour. Flight is going at 800 km per hour. So by the time flight takes off, Earth is turned. So when it thinks of Singapore and coming down, it would be Saudi Arabia or something on this side, right? Doesn't happen. That is because the flight, when we tell the speed of the flight, when a person is sitting in the moon, when a person is sitting in the moon and look at the Earth, he will see the Earth is rotating at 1,600 plus kilometer per hour, and the train, if it is going in the same direction of rotation of the Earth at 50 kilometer per hour, for a person in the moon, he will observe the Earth is traveling at 1,600 kilometer per hour and the train is traveling at 1,600 plus 50. In the case of flight, he will see the flight is traveling at 1,600 plus 800. So when you see from moon, you will see the Earth is rotating, and when he says sees the flight is going at 800, it is not 800. For a person in the moon, it is Earth speed plus 800. If it is in the same direction, if it is in the opposite direction, it is 1,600 minus 800. That is what we call as a fundamental principle of motion called Galilean relativity. Galilean relativity of motion. Okay. Now you answer 2 more problems, then you will have some clarity. Now this we told the second problem. Answer this. Now we brought another train. Avinash is sitting on a train, but that train is now traveling at 60 kilometer per hour. So first train is traveling at 50 kilometer per hour. Inside that, Elisa is walking at 5 kilometer per hour speed. Parallel track, another train in the same direction, and our friend Avinash is sitting there. What is the speed of Elisa for Avinash? the kidney work? Avinash is sitting in the train which is going at 60 km/h. Now our original train, Elisa, is walking inside the train at 5 km/h, and that train is going at 50 km/h. So when your train was going at 50 km/h for the second question, when the train was going at 50 km/h, you felt Avinash is sitting in the 50 km/h train. Whom did we catch? Rohan is also sitting in the train at 50 km/h. So we realized both can talk and both can play balls. That's what we realized. Between Rohan and Avinash, if both are going in the same train at the same speed, they can play ball. Just like how you're sitting in the same train. That's what we realized in the last one. And when you look at, when Avinash looks at Elisa, she's walking at 5 km/h forward. Now in this case, Avinash is going at 60 km/h train. He's sitting. What is the speed? What is the speed of Rohan for Avinash? Rohan is sitting there. Rohan is sitting in the 50 km train. Avinash is sitting in the 60 km/h train. What is the speed of Rohan for Avinash?
Minus 10 kilometers.
Minus
10 kilometers back.
Right? Avinash will feel Rohan is going backwards because Avinash will overtake 10 km. But when it comes to Elisa, he will feel Elisa is going backwards, but at 5 km/h. Because Elisa's speed is the train speed plus 5. Now, what if Elisa was walking at 10 km/h speed?
Same, 0.
Then Avinash and Elisa can play ball. 50 km/h train, if Elisa is walking at 10 km/h speed, and if Avinash is sitting in a train at 60 km/h speed, both can play ball. You understand? So this is the basic relativity of motion. With that next problem, I think we will get into a conclusion here. This time, everything same, but the train is going in the opposite direction at 60 km/h. Exactly, Rishikesh. That is the same phenomenon that we are feeling like trees are going backwards. Actually, trees are going backwards compared to us. Compared to us, if you are traveling in a train at 50 km/h, for you in that position, tree is going backwards. Which is right. Attempt this problem, please. This is important. Okay, so whatever we have covered now, this inertia, that force, and these things are pretty important. This is the foundation of modern physics. So if you have to understand Einstein's relativity, you have to understand this relativity. So we call Einstein's relativity a special relativity because this is Galilean relativity. This is what is called Galilean's relativity. Answer this, everyone. See, the Shivananda, Avinash and all, they have attended my course before. Okay, so don't get surprised. Okay, so that is that is the reason why they are jumping in answering. Okay, so you will take some time. So those who are struggling, don't feel bad. This Shivananda, I think, is third time Shivananda, second time or third time?
Second time.
Second time, and this Avinash is also second time. So that's why they are getting this. Okay. See, think about it. You are going in a car. Another guy is coming in another car parallel. If same speed, you can talk and go, right? But if that car was going in opposite direction, you will just fear a sound. Is it not? Because the speeds were opposite. So this train is going at 60 and this train is going at 50. So it will work at opposite. So it is what Rishikesh has given, one is going at 60 here, another is going at 55 there. So the difference in speed is 115. So it is the difference in speed that matters. In the previous case, this train was at 60, this train was at 50. Difference in speed between both train was 10. Now in this case, this train is going opposite 60, this train is going this side 50. So the difference in speed is 60 plus 50, 110. You understand? Now you think about this. Assume you are going in a merry-go-round. You play merry-go-round? You played
Yes, sir.
merry-go-round? So let us assume you all are going in merry-go-round. Ayati is in the opposite direction compared to Shivananda. Okay, 6 people in the merry-go-round. Ayati is in the opposite direction. Can Ayati and Shivananda play balls? Merry-go-round is going like this.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Is Ayati confident and Shivananda confident? You can't tell anything, you're standing outside. They have to play. Ayati and Shivananda, are you confident? Are you?
I didn't understand that question.
No, you are not listening, or your voice is not, your audio is
Sir, I'm listening, but
See, assume you are going in a merry-go-round. You know what is merry-go-round?
yes, sir.
Yeah. So let us assume that is 6 seats. So Shivananda is sitting opposite to you, and you are just rotating. Can you play balls? She throw balls to you, you catch it, and you throw a ball to her, you catch it. Can you do that?
Sir, opposite means, I mean, where's she sitting?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. Let us assume there are six chairs in that. 6 chairs. So she is sitting in one chair which is opposite to you. Like this two, like this two, like this two. Can you?
So we are going parallel, right?
Yeah, like assume it is like this merry-go-round, and assume Ayati is sitting here, and our Shivananda is sitting here. There are other people who are sitting here, 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 here. So this is rotating like this. Can they play balls?
Yes, sir.
Let us ask whether they are confident. This is confident.
Sir, then what if the ball falls down?
You just throw a ball, other person catches it, and other person throws, and you catch it. Is Shivananda confident?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can play. Ayati is not ready fully. Let us assume now Megha is standing here. Can you throw ball to Megha and play when you rotate?
Yes.
No.
You will miss it. You will miss it. Because by the time you throw the ball, between...
You're already rotating.
Yeah, you have moved your position. So it's very difficult to aim. You can play if you are a circus person, if you have a good aim and all, nobody will prevent you. So between Ayati and Shivananda, actually they can play as if they are just sitting. They are not moving. They are sitting in a train across, or they are just sitting in a room across. Like that they can play, though they are moving. Why it is? The relative speed between Ayati and Shivananda is 0. It is just like how they are sitting idle. So the ball which they throw will travel in the same speed as that of the merry-go-round. So we get this, Ayati. So what is the point is, what is the speed of the ball when you throw it? See, that is why you see this, our spinners bowling and our Shoaib Akhtar or our Bumrah coming in bowling. What is the difference?
Their rest position is different there.
Okay, any other difference?
They run before.
Yeah, so because of their run, what will happen?
The ball will have extra. The
What will-
ball
The
will
ball
have
speed will
extra
increase.
speed.
The running
Will
speed.
travel faster.
Yeah, see, that is the point. So, by the time Shoaib Akhtar is releasing the ball, of course, because he ran, he will have a higher momentum, so he will be able to apply a bit more force. But let us assume for a moment, Ravindra Jadeja and Shoaib Akhtar both, when they leave the ball, they can throw at the same speed only. But Shoaib Akhtar's ball or Bumrah's ball will come faster to the bowler, faster to the batsman, because when Bumrah is throwing it, already the ball is at a speed compared to the batsman. Already he has acquired say 25 kilometer per hour some speed or something. So that ball, if he is running at 25 kilometer per hour, it is just like ball going in a train. It is having a speed of 25 kilometer per hour. Then if he throws it at say 50 kilometer per hour, then the speed of the ball for the batsman who is standing still is 25 plus 50. Yeah. So that concept you to understand. If that is what we call with the name frame of reference. Frame of reference means which frame we are talking about. Previously, we were talking about a frame called train. So in that frame, all the objects in that frame are going at the same speed. Now we are talking about a frame called Bumrah. So when Bumrah is running, the ball, his shirt, his pant, the pen in his pocket, the currency in his pocket, his cap, everything is moving at the same speed if you're standing there. For the umpire who's standing there, for a batsman who's standing there, everything is going the same speed. Do you get that? Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So Rishikesh, is that clear to you? So jokers of cycle juggles using this cycle. What is that? I didn't understand, Rishikesh. What do you mean? Juggle? Ah, yes, yes. Yeah. So that is, yeah. So see, that is why this, for you to play like that, whatever we told, that other kind of playmates and all, if you do, you have to be in circus. That is why the circus people, they manage this relativity. See, in circus, you jump like this and do put like this, and so they manage this relativity part. Okay, so these people who play that, they manage that. So you can, with practice, you can do that. Normally, it is difficult. If the merry-go-round is going very slow, will you be able to? Yeah, you can. Actually, you can catch the ball if you play it in a tricky position. Like when you throw, where you aim on, it is not where it will go. Just think about like this, Elisa. If you're going in a car, if you throw a ball outside, where does it fall? It will fall like a curve. The starting speed will be the same speed of the car. Then because of the air resistance, it will slowly stop. Right? Okay. It is very difficult to aim. But if it is going slow, then the difference in speed is less, then you can aim. Right? So you have to understand this concept. So this is what we call frame of reference. Now, this will look like good story for you. But what this did is it took out something called absolute motion or absolute speed. Because till now, if you tell, oh, there is mass which is going at say 2000 km per hour. Now if somebody tells like that, we have to ask this question, 2000 km per hour for whom? Where is the observer? Depending on where is the observer, it will change. That's what we realize. Elisa is walking. For a person sitting in the train, it is 5 km per hour. For a person who is standing outside, it is 55 km per hour. For a person in another train, it is say 150 km per hour. So there is nothing called absolute speed or absolute motion. And if two trains are traveling at same speed, between them, there is no speed. So this killed the concept called absolute speed. So when you tell that something is moving at X speed, the obvious question you will ask is, from where? From where you saw it? Depending on from where you saw it, the speed can vary. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is very important, okay? So if you are traveling in a train, when you look from Mars, what is the speed? And when you look from Moon, what is the speed? When you look from Sun, what is the speed? When you look from a satellite, what is the speed? When you look from a polar satellite and a geostationary satellite, all the speeds will vary. So Galilean relativity killed the concept called absolute speed. There is nothing called absolute speed, there is only relative speed. So it will depend on which frame you are standing. So that place is called frame of reference. That which reference, that you are standing outside or in another train or in moon or in a satellite, where you are standing. That is called frame of reference. Right? Okay? Get it? So for Ayati, she was in the same frame of reference as Shivananda. So for Ayati, Shivananda is not moving. So Ayati looks at Shivananda, smiles, Shivananda looks back and smiles. But Megha looks at Shivananda and smiles. By the time Shivananda has to smile, she has to turn like this and smile. She may not bother. Right? It's not. So it depends where you are. Right. So this is a tough problem. I will post it. I will advise, or maybe for okay, all of you can try. It's slightly tricky problem, like the kind of problems which will be asked in entrance exams and all those things sometimes. I just put it for higher standard students. If you want to try, you can take a screenshot and try. I will post it tomorrow morning. If you don't try, also it's fine. Okay, just for kidney to get some exercise. If you want, you can. Okay, I'll post it also. If you want to take a screenshot, you can take a screenshot. Tomorrow morning I will post it. Right? I'm not going to explain this in the next class. Unless and until somebody who is very close to it in higher stuff you want me to then after the class or something. Right. Now, which car will get more damaged?
Sir, it depends on its speed.
Depends on beautiful. Depends on speed. Anything else it depends on?
Mass.
It will depend on its mass. Anything else it depends on? It will depend on so many parameters like the frontage of the car, the material and all those things. But these two are important things which actually makes how much is the impact. Okay, so Megha, we will come to that. Let us assume Ritish is walking through Ruby Muscat. Yeah, Wadi Kabir, in front of Wadi Kabir is just walking. It's a street. A cycle, somebody is cycling, okay, at 10 km/h and comes and hits him. Now another car comes at 10 km/h and hits him. Which one will be damaging, Ritesh?
Car.
Obviously car. Why?
So it has more force.
No, both are at 10 km/h speed. Both are coming.
Sir, I think
The mass.
cycle.
The mass.
Yeah. So Ben, why it is cycle?
Because car surface is much more bigger and more curved, but cycle
yeah.
seems to be like a pointed thing.
Yeah, no.
It can hurt us more.
Yeah, okay. There is a slight point that if some sharp edge is there, but otherwise, in general, car will affect you.
So is it because it has a difference between my mass and like if a cycle comes, like it is not very heavy to like affect me more?
If I tell you another example, you will get it very easily. You are lying on the road, Ritish. One cycle coming from the top at some speed and falls on your chest, and one car comes on your chest and they say both at the same speed. Which will damage you more?
Car.
Okay, so this surface and all problems are over, right? Ritish will not be there to answer it. It's not. So,
but it is not going in the opposite direction of the gravity. It is coming in the direction. So this gravity is same, but
Assume that
only
both are
mass
coming
is
at same
different.
speed. Assume that both are coming at same speed. The car and the cycle are coming at same speed. From top same speed. So the force is same, na? Force is
The
same.
car is falling down or
Yeah,
moving
both
with
are
its.
falling. Na? Cycle is also falling. Car is also falling. Let us assume both of it you drop from the same height. So both will fall at the same time. That's what we learned. Force is same, but force is not same because mass is more.
Yes,
Because
mass of the car is more, so a car will hit first.
yeah, same thing happens when the car comes from behind. Okay, don't get into now trick by telling if the cycle is having a sharp edge, what will happen. Don't get into the tricky stuff. Now, if the mass is more, it will affect you more, right? It will affect you more. If the mass is more, it will impact you more. Whether it is falling like this from back, from this thing, from front, it will affect you more. Or you think like this: you want to push a cycle. You want to push a cycle and achieve a speed of 10 km per hour. You want to push a truck and achieve 10 km per hour. For which you have to apply more force? Or why it is?
Because it has more mass.
It is more mass. So the simple thing is whether the car comes and hits you or you push the car, what is happening is some force you are applying. Either to stop it or to push it. Means to change its speed. We are trying to change its speed, either to reduce its speed or increase its speed. For that, you apply force. If Radish was Superman, he would have held the car like this, right? So he's applying force to stop it, right? But normally, if you push or try to stop, what happens? You are applying a force action. Now, you think like this: a car is coming and hitting another car at 10 km per hour speed, and if another car is coming and hitting at 50 km per hour speed, which will damage more?
10 km per car.
Are you sure?
50
I think so.
Let us assume Ben is standing at 10 km per hour car
10
is coming.
km per car will be damaged.
I'm asking about you. Which will damage you more?
50 km car.
Even the car also, the 50 km car will get damaged. See, otherwise, you will tell now, if as per Ben's theory, if a car is going at a lesser speed, damage will be more. Means you can tell that, okay, everybody go at very high speed so the damage will be less.
I told that, you told that two cars will be hitting each other now. So damage will be more to the 10 km car. That's what I told.
There also, if a 10 km car and a 50 km car, when they hit each other, actually the force will be same on both them. Once you hit, the force applied on both cars will be the same. But then you are right, depending on what speed you are coming. Actually, you have an advantage. If you are going at a lesser speed, you can control it better. That you are right. You have a point there. I am telling if a car is going and hitting, let us assume a tree. A car is going and hitting a tree. If it is 10 km per hour car is going and hitting a tree, and a 50 km per hour car is going and hitting a tree, obviously the 50 km car will get damaged more. So that is what we tell. There are two important parameters which is affecting the impact. One is the mass, second is the speed. Okay, so these two put together, we call it by a name. These two put together, mass and speed, put together is what determines how much force you have to apply, either to increase its speed or reduce its speed. So we call it with a name. Mass and speed together is what impacts how much force you have to apply, either to stop or to speed. Like for example, you are pushing a car or pushing a cycle to achieve a speed of 10 km. To achieve a speed of 20 km, you have to apply more force to achieve a speed of 20 km. So which means The more the speed, you would apply more force, whether to stop it or increase it. So these two put together, the mass and speed put together, we call by a name. You know it? The factor, combined factor of mass.
Momentum.
So that is what we call it, like we call moment. Okay. So the what we call as parameter called momentum is that. Right? So momentum is what determines how much is the force required to stop something or to increase its speed. In effect, the change in speed. Okay. So I will stop with this next slide. A person getting hit like this, and a person getting hit like this. Whom do you think will get a, assuming the force of hitting is same, whom do you think will be impacted more? Muhammad Ali or this gentleman?
Muhammad Ali.
The first one.
Second.
First one.
First
Muhammad,
one.
first one or second?
Wrong.
First one will get impacted more, or second one will get impacted more? What do you see from this motion? By seeing this, what is the difference you see here?
More mass.
Anything else you see? Assume the force of hitting is same. Assume Largam's hitting and this guy is hitting, both are same force. Anything you observe in the movement of Muhammad Ali and this gentleman?
He is defending himself.
Yes, Muhammad Ali is moving backwards.
Okay. See, that is the point. Muhammad Ali is
Muhammad Ali is
evading.
moving backwards.
He is moving backwards. He will get hit, but he is moving backwards. But this person, he could not move. He's getting it straight on it. Okay. So actually, this guy, if the force is
Sir,
same,
it is as if when we throw a ball to the sky, and when it comes, we drew our hand to the bottom.
yeah,
and
exactly.
So
Correct. I am coming to the same point. What Ben told. Now, when you take cricket catch, those who are cricket players here, tell me, how do you take a catch? Good catch.
So when we take a catch, we bring our hand more down to catch it comfortably.
Is it not? Have you seen? You take catch like this. Have you seen good wicket keeping in, or you take the catch like this?
We will move in the direction the ball falls. Right?
Yeah. Same in the case of football also. You normally take it like this. Now, I will leave today with this question: why? What is the science behind all these things? Why you withdraw when you withdraw? Why the force applied is less? When you get hit, if you withdraw like this, why the force applied is less? You get hit. When you take a catch, when you withdraw compared to when you hold like this, why when you withdraw the force is less? What is the science behind it? That is an assignment for you. Okay. So work on it, think about it, understand the science of it, and submit. Right? Then we will see. Next week we will continue from